Hi, welcome to HeKate's Crossing. So I want to sort of dive maybe a little deeper into the Supernatural Tarot, but I also want to use this to compare with the Waterfall Tarot, because I want to look at the tarot guidance as well. I want to have a look at a bit of a study. So what we're going to do is just choose a card. This is just one card to start with. I mean, you can do more cards, whatever you want to do. Of course, you could be doing a specific spread. But at the moment, I just want to choose one card. Let me have a look at one card. So let's choose just one card we're going to look at. This one here, just randomly. Okay, so we've got the Nine of Chalices, Nine of Goblets, Nine of Cups, whatever you like to call it. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the Supernatural Guidebook first. Let's have a look at and see what goblets. Right, so we're looking at Nine of Goblets. So let's read what it says here first. Okay, the upright is the Nine of Goblets represents deep emotional fulfillment. This tarot card symbolizes happiness, satisfaction, and getting what you want. When the Nine of Goblets is drawn in a reading, it advises you to have faith in your dreams because fate is conspiring to make them come true. When reversed, the Nine of Goblets tarot card indicates dissatisfaction or a lack of fulfillment. Have you been wishing hard for something only to have your dreams not come to fruition? The Nine of Goblets reversed reminds you some things are just aren't meant to be. So it does feel like, emotional fulfillment. It does feel like there's a deep emotional fulfillment coming to play. So, right. Okay, so we've looked at what the guidebook here actually says. Now, let's have a look at the Nine of, a Rider-Waite Smith Nine of Cups would look like. So, let's look at, now we know this is a bit of a pip card out of the deck, and they're not all like that. So I'm just looking at a Rider-Waite Smith styled with a twist, of course, because it's the Waterfall Tarot. Of course, the card that you really want is way down in the pile. It's always the case. Here we go. So here you've got this guy. He's got his back turned on the order of the cups and what's going on. He's got his arms crossed. Okay, so it's about a wishful thing. You know, to me, when I see the Nine of Cups, it does talk to me a sense of wishful thinking. Right, let's have a look. Nine of Cups. Let's have a look and see what TarotOracle speaks of Nine of Cups. Let's have a look. We're talking about a banquet, serving others, having plenty. So he's got quite a lot here, and I'm not going to be able to read it all out, but let's have a quick look. The Nine of Cups has a dizzying array of definitions, I would say half of which makes no sense of all. Of course, this is just my opinion based upon looking at the picture. But even when you dig into the astrology meaning of patience, understanding, or compassion, or even the number 9's meaning in other cards, it's still confusing where some of these definitions are derived from. I think the basics are satisfaction, pleasure, and finding something previously evasive. Another one is birth or creation aspect and imagination. So given that I'm staring at the card, I'm still a bit confused. I would say that many other tarot authors as well, due to the variety of rethinking for the images, most of which are centered around a collection aspect which I have not seen in other books. What I mean is the character sitting there all comfortable has clearly collected a variety of cups and put them on display. Behind him atop a nice tablecloth. Let's go over some of my fringe definitions for this and dive further into the unknown cups. Nine of Cups. My first reinterpretation of this is clearly the collection aspect that many other tarot creators have emphasized. In the Wizard's Tarot, the cups are displayed in the shelf. I'm not going to go into all the different decks. You have to have a look at that. So we have first re-identification, collecting something and displaying it with pride, having a sense of accomplishment. Now we're leaning into the second house of astrology. And it's interesting how he just goes into so much detail about the Nine of Cups. So it really gives us some thoughts about what does Nine of Goblets actually mean in the Supernatural Tarot. When you look at the Rider-Waite-Smith type meanings and some of the variety given from other authors, it's quite neat how TarotOracle has just gone into so much detail in what the Nine of Cups could actually mean. So using the book with other decks, it does give you a perspective on what this card could mean in some way. So I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. It's just going into what does the Nine of Cups mean. To me, it's definitely about looking at things, or things going on behind the scenes. It does feel like things are going on behind the scenes to attain what you want, to have that spiritual, that emotional fulfillment and what's valuable to the journey. Can talk about, wishful thinking, about wishing for things to happen. So it does talk to me, and it is about having a sense of collecting of things. A collection of things is definitely, maybe there is a sense of collecting something. But to me, it does definitely talk about spiritual fulfillment. That sense, or that emotional fulfillment, should I say. So yeah, interesting. So let's have a look at a second card. We're just doing a study. Remember, we're just learning at this moment. This is not a reading for anything in particular. It's just a study. So what next card am I studying? It's not necessarily that I'm memorizing all this information. I'm just learning. Sorry, excuse me. So card number 2. Oh, here we got Pip card again. It's interesting. And we've got that. Okay, so this is interesting because 2 cards have popped out. So we're going to look at the 6 of Pentagrams, which is like the 6 of Pentacles, and the Devil. So let's have a look at these 2 cards. Now, the 6 of Pentacles to me is a sense of unconditional giving, a sense of charity within the situation. So let's do that. We've got the Devil, which is to me is about addictions, being trapped, being contained. Okay, so what we're going to do is we've looked at the 6 of Pentagrams in the Supernatural Tarot. Okay, so we've looked at the book. Let's see what it says here. I mean, you can do this with any deck. I'm just using the Supernatural Tarot as a way of sort of diving deep into the meanings, maybe researching and doing a little bit more, using the Tarot Guidance book, but also comparing with a Rider-Waite-Smith deck as well. So 6 of Pentagrams talks about balance and flow are the themes of the 6 of Pentagrams tarot card. It indicates the exchange of wealth, reminding you to be charitable when you're in a position of abundance. Conversely, the 6 of Pentagram reminds you it's okay to ask for and accept for help when you need it. So reverse, the Six of Pentagrams comes forward reverse in tarot readings when the flow of wealth in your life is out of balance. Do you have a lot of outstanding overdue debt? Are you outstanding overdue debt? Are you continuing to feed into an investment that isn't showing you returns you deserve? Whoops. Showing you the returns you deserve. Take a careful look at your cash flow and make adjustments accordingly. Okay, so we're looking at investments. We're looking at, giving to others, receiving from others, asking for help's okay. So let's have a look at Six of Pentacles. So let's have a look and see what TarotOracle says in this book. Okay, so Six of Pentacles can talk about giving, sharing, providing to others, and winning money. So the six represents giving and sharing, of course, but like most other cards of this type, we're left wondering if we are the receiving person here or the giver of the coins. The answer, of course, is it depends upon other cards surrounding this one and what type of question we're working from. If we're looking for a job and suddenly we spy a Three of Coins right next to this one, it points to a new opportunity. But we're not. We're looking at the Nine of Cups with it. So it's interesting. Okay, so now we're left staring at the Six of Coins. So does it mean we suddenly have such an influx of money that we're being generous now? Or possibly the job pays well and will be handing us a large sum of money? Basically, it's a giving opportunity, as in the company will be providing us a job. Okay, when combined with the good news card, the giving is pretty obvious and easy to spot with the Sun card. Restrictions card would hint that maybe it's not the opportunity to give just yet. So what did I have? 9, which is about spiritual fulfillment. So yes, it does feel like a lot of positivity here, and yet we've got the Devil. So that's interesting to look at. So giving, sharing, providing others, and winning money. So let's have a look at the Devil and see what Teo says about it. Oh, must look at. First, before we do that, we also want to have a look at. Okay, before we do that, we actually want to look at the book. So what does the supernatural say about the Devil? So the Devil here is, the Devil is a warning against corruption, overindulgence, and egotism, traits the fallen angel Lucifer has in abundance. Upright, Lucifer is arrogant, egotistical, and ruthless in his pursuit of revenge against God. He feels victimized and uses this as a justification to hurt others. The Devil tarot card indicates you're being blinded by that sort of single-mindedness, and as a result you're allowing yourself to remain chained to your negative thought patterns and actions. Take a step back, look at the big picture, and consider the consequences of your actions. Now, if it's reversed, Lucifer is an immensely powerful fallen archangel, but even he needs the permission of a human to use them as a vessel. When the Devil tarot card is reversed, it's a reminder that even when you feel powerless, you do ultimately have control over your own destiny. You can escape your devil if you can find the courage to break your chains and send him on his way. Okay, so that's interesting. Now let's have a look and see what TarotOracle says in his tarot guidance. Now, he's put here bad influence, oddities, and agendas. The Devil card is another bad reputation card. Everybody sees it on the table and gasps or points in panic, as they believe their entire reading just went straight downhill. but in reality the devil is simply a force of nature to be dealt with, like rain or snow that occasionally arrives into your life and with some adjustment doesn't completely derail where you're originally heading. The first basic meaning is bad influences. When we see quite a bit around town, that one person who has their own thing going and wants to rope you into scheme or great idea they just had. These people are easily avoided. However, remember that the devil is not always a person. Sometimes can be an idea, organization, or management structure. At work. Plus, most times this comes as good intentions, where the person means absolutely the best, however they introduce drastic changes where they shouldn't be at work. Introduce drastic changes where they shouldn't be at work. So then it talks about work readings, being at work, what it means, being in love, when it's next to the high priestess, which is not. So definitely talks about there could be some oddities, some agenda, something that's not sort of going to plan. So even though we've got our wishes and we might be in need to ask for actual help in this situation because things may not be going according to plan. Could be that whole, when you're looking at it all over, start trying to put them together. What could the cards mean? You've looked at what the book said, the supernatural book said, or the guidebook of the tarot deck, whatever you're using. You've looked at the tarot guidance as well to give you an idea, sort of doing a bit of study, a bit of reflection, and you've looked at what this is in whatever way. So you've looked at the supernatural, you've looked at the Rider-Waite and how they sort of compare, what it could mean. You've looked at both books, and it's just sort of given you an idea or a suggestion about what card. This is just a study. It's not really a reading as such. It's not, you're not doing a reading for anyone else. This is just for yourself. It's just for study. It's just getting into it a little bit deeper. And you can do this with any tarot deck. I just use the supernatural as a idea, as a suggestion, especially when you're sort of looking at decks that follow Rider-Waite-Smith, but a pip might be sort of a pippish deck. So you want to sort of get into something a bit more deeper to try and, remember, not all the minor arcana are pips either. They do have people on the cards, but generally they're not hugely scenic. So this is a great way to sort of dive deep into the deck to sort of learn a little bit more about what the cards could actually mean. So this is just an idea of working with tarot guidance and the Waterfall tarot, but working with another deck as well to sort of get a deeper, to get a bit more of an understanding of this deck here. So I'll put the links down below. So don't forget to check the links down below. Check the links on my channel. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you know when the next lot of videos will be uploaded. Take care and blessed be.